Welcome back to our channel, where the flickering shadows of Genoa continue to conceal the most dangerous secrets. The mysterious disappearance of Matt is driving Phyllis insane. Who is behind this kidnapping, or is it just a trick by Matt? Today, we'll delve into a sudden disappearance that has ignited a storm of paranoia and misguided revenge, threatening to shatter the fragile fabric of intertwined lives. The sudden and eerie vanishing of Matt Clark has left a chilling void in the atmosphere of Genoa City. But for Phyllis Summers, this absence is not a mystery to be solved. It is a declaration of war. Phyllis is a woman whose entire existence has been shaped by a perpetual state of hypervigilance. Her survival instincts honed to a razor's edge by decades of betrayal, heartbreak, and relentless battles against powerful adversaries. When the man she has recently anchored her complicated heart to disappears without a single trace, her mind does not entertain the possibility of a random tragedy or a ghost from his own extensive criminal past catching up with him. Instead, her deeply entrenched psychological trauma immediately constructs a familiar, terrifying narrative. She views this disappearance as a surgical, calculated strike aimed directly at her soul, orchestrated by the only entity she believes possesses both the infinite resources and the venomous malice required to pull off such a flawless abduction. In her mind, the Newman family has once again reached out from their ivory tower to crush whatever fragile happiness she has managed to build. The tension reaches a boiling point within the opulent, dimly lit confines of the Genoa City Athletic Club, a sanctuary where corporate espionage and personal vendettas are often served alongside expensive bourbon. Adam Newman sits at the polished mahogany bar, projecting an aura of cold, calculating detachment as he shares a drink with Kane Ashby. Kane, currently operating as a dangerous double agent, navigating the treacherous waters between the Winters family loyalty and Newman media power, forms a silent, imposing barrier beside Adam. The atmosphere around them is thick with unspoken alliances and the heavy burden of their own impending corporate betrayals. Into this volatile mix strides Phyllis, a hurricane of pure, unadulterated fury. Her presence instantly alters the air pressure in the room, her gaze locked onto Adam with the terrifying intensity of a predator who has finally cornered its prey. She does not see Adam as a man entangled in his own exhausting wars with Billy Abbott and Victor Newman. She sees him merely as an extension of the Newman machine, a convenient proxy for the family she is absolutely certain has destroyed her life once again. Phyllis descends upon the two men, her physical proximity designed to intimidate and suffocate. She launches into a relentless, suffocating interrogation, demanding answers about Matt's whereabouts with a ferocity that draws the nervous attention of everyone in the vicinity. She accuses Adam and his family of orchestrating a sophisticated, bloodless coup to eliminate Matt from the board, painting a picture of a grand Newman conspiracy designed specifically to inflict maximum psychological torture upon her. Her accusations are not framed as questions but as absolute, undeniable facts. She details her belief that the Newmans have finally crossed the ultimate line, utilizing their vast network of security personnel and shadow operatives to make a human being simply cease to exist. Her voice, trembling with a volatile mixture of profound grief and explosive rage, weaves a narrative of victimhood that leaves no room for alternative explanations. Adam's reaction is a masterclass in chilling detachment, though underneath his stoic exterior lies a ripple of genuine confusion. He is currently drowning in the complexities of his own survival, desperately trying to manage the fallout of his secret financial maneuvers with Sally Spectra, and anticipating the inevitable, crushing retaliation from his father. Phyllis's hysterical accusations are an unwanted, chaotic distraction from his meticulously laid plans. He meets her burning fury with an icy, impenetrable stare, dismissing her wild theories with a subtle shift in his posture that radiates absolute contempt. Beside him, Kane observes the chaotic interaction with the calculated precision of a man who knows how to exploit weakness. Kane recognizes the danger of a cornered, desperate Phyllis, but he also sees the strategic advantage of the Newman family being distracted by a madwoman's crusade, while he continues to play his own dangerous game in the shadows. The psychological roots of Phyllis's obsession with the Newman family run deep, tethered to a lifetime of emotional scars and bitter defeats. Her past battles with Victor and Nick have conditioned her to view them as omnipotent puppet masters, capable of manipulating the very fabric of reality to suit their needs. Every tragedy, every setback, and every heartbreak she has endured over the past 2 decades invariably leads her back to the Newman ranch. This historical trauma has created a blinding confirmation bias, a psychological prison where every piece of anomalous data is forcefully hammered into a shape that fits her preconceived narrative of Newman persecution. To Phyllis, acknowledging that Matt might have been taken by an unknown entity would mean admitting that she is vulnerable to forces outside her understanding, a terrifying loss of control that her fragile psyche simply cannot process. Driven by this blinding certainty, Phyllis escalates her crusade, tracking down Victor and Nick Newman to deliver her venomous accusations directly to the source. She corners them with a reckless disregard for her own safety, her grief weaponized into a barrage of character assassinations. She points to Nick's recent legal maneuvers, specifically the humiliating restraining order he filed against her regarding Matt, as the chilling prelude to this ultimate, violent elimination. In her twisted logic, the legal system was merely the first step in a coordinated Newman effort to isolate Matt, leaving him defenseless against whatever dark operatives Victor employs to handle the family's dirty work. She demands they produce Matt, her frantic energy vibrating with the absolute conviction that he is currently languishing in some secret Newman holding facility, paying the price for daring to love a woman the Newmans despise. The response from the Newman patriarch and his son is a devastating combination of icy dismissal and profound exhaustion. Victor Newman, a man who has crushed empires and orchestrated global conspiracies, views Phyllis's hysterical paranoia as nothing more than the buzzing of a particularly annoying insect. He does not dignify her accusations with a defense, instead offering a cold, impenetrable wall of silence that only serves to infuriate her further. Nick, on the other hand, is drowning in the suffocating weight of his own recent traumas, battling his fragile sobriety and the toxic infiltration of Marie Kirkland into his life. He looks at the mother of his child with a mixture of pity and deep exasperation, viewing her accusations not as a threat, but as a tragic symptom of her toxic, inexplicable attachment to a monster like Matt Clark. Nick's refusal to engage with her delusions only solidifies Phyllis's belief that they are hiding a terrible, bloody truth. Refusing to be silenced by their dismissive arrogance, Phyllis launches her own independent, manic investigation into Matt's final known movements. She transforms her grief into a frantic, obsessive crusade, turning her hotel suite into a chaotic war room filled with timelines, surveillance logs, and digital footprints. She operates with the frantic energy of a woman who feels her entire world is under siege, pushing away anyone who attempts to offer a rational perspective. Her relentless digging, driven by her formidable intelligence and legendary hacking skills, begins to unearth the hidden layers of Matt's recent activities, peeling back the facade of the reformed man he presented to her. In the midst of this frantic search, Phyllis stumbles upon a series of vague, deeply unsettling clues that point in a terrifyingly different direction. She uncovers encrypted messages, untraceable financial transfers, and digital breadcrumbs that lead away from the pristine, corporate towers of Newman Enterprises and point toward a gritty, forgotten chapter of Matt's dark criminal past. These anomalies suggest the involvement of an old, highly dangerous enemy, someone completely disconnected from the elite, manicured warfare of Genoa City. The subtle signs indicate that a ghost from Matt's previous life as a ruthless predator has finally stepped out of the shadows to claim a long-overdue debt, operating with a level of brutal efficiency that even Victor Newman would find disturbing. Yet, in a tragic display of psychological self-sabotage, Phyllis actively ignores these crucial, glaring clues. The phenomenon of willful ignorance takes hold, forcing her to discard any evidence that contradicts her deeply ingrained victim narrative. Her trauma bonds and deep-seated grudges against the Newmans act as a blinder, preventing her from seeing the terrifying truth that lies just beyond her prejudice. To accept that a random, faceless enemy has taken Matt would force her to confront the reality that she never truly knew the man she was defending, and that her ability to protect those she loves is an illusion. Fighting the Newmans, however painful, is familiar territory. It provides her with a tangible target for her rage and a structured battlefield where she understands the rules of engagement. Fueling her own delusions, Phyllis takes her accusations to the public sphere, declaring a one-sided, catastrophic war against the Newman Empire. She utilizes her media, contacts, and social platforms to drag the Newman name through the mud, creating a massive, dramatic spectacle that paints Victor and Nick as ruthless, untouchable kidnappers operating above the law. Her public meltdown sends shockwaves through the already volatile corporate landscape of Genoa City, forcing Newman Enterprises into a defensive posture and complicating Adam and Victoria's ongoing power struggles. Phyllis's relentless campaign of defamation becomes a chaotic distraction, a blinding smokescreen of her own creation that inadvertently provides perfect cover for the actual crime taking place in the shadows. The tragic irony of Phyllis's misdirected fury is a masterpiece of dark fate. While she directs all her lethal energy, formidable intellect, and survival instincts toward dismantling a Newman conspiracy that simply does not exist, the actual truth remains buried in the silence she refuses to investigate. Her blinding hatred has left Matt completely defenseless against his actual captor, abandoning him to the mercy of a predator who operates without the moral constraints or public accountability of the Newman family. Phyllis, in her desperate attempt to be the hero of her own tragic narrative, has unwittingly become the greatest asset to the very monster who stole the man she claims to love. As Phyllis screams her accusations into the void, demanding justice from men who have no answers to give, the true orchestrator of Matt's disappearance watches the spectacle unfold from the safety of the shadows. This unseen enemy, a phantom born from the darkest corners of Matt's history, revels in the sinister satisfaction of a flawless execution. They realize with chilling clarity that Phyllis's blinding historical hatred for the Newmans has provided them with the ultimate impenetrable alibi. With the entire city focused on a fabricated war between its most prominent families, the real predator is left with complete immunity, free to exact their brutal revenge in absolute silence. As the unseen captor tightens their grip on their prisoner, a terrifying, unanswered question lingers in the cold air. What horrific torment will this ghost from the past unleash? Now that they know no one is actually looking for them,